welcome back to a new video. Today we'll look at my third race of the season of KartClub Eefde. I do want to mention that during this race I had my ribs were badly bruised. Mainly because that I've trained before this race actually at Oldenzaal, where we did take some stuff against it. So I took painkillers and we put foam in my seats to go up against this. Didn't really work out considering the painkillers made me tired. But the only thing that really helped was the foam that was within my seat, but it only helped that much. It couldn't like fully get rid of the pain, but it's whatever. Anyways, enjoy the video. So here we are for the first training session of the day, and one thing I was doing mainly at this part was actually looking at if they were pointing us through to go out. So I was really paying attention to the guy that led me through. Unfortunately, but the first thing I do of course is just to warm up the tires. And the main focus, at least what I was focusing on was trying to practice overtakes and get used to this layout again. Considering I haven't been able to train on this layout due to the reservation apparently not coming through. But I might also have forgotten it. It's either one. So I wasn't really well prepared for this race besides changing the sprockets. At least my dad did that. Actually, he said, okay, you should try something else, and then we switched it up a bit. So we are running on 70 sprockets as far as I know. Actually, the first one I've already overtaken here. And now I'm behind Jok, which is trying to overtake the number 2 here. It wasn't really able to, but I was not sticking around, so I immediately overtake him into this corner. And now I'm behind the number 2, which actually brakes quite early, I've noticed. So I'm able to put it into this corner as well and overtake him. And from this moment on I was actually quite lonely, considering there was no one in front for quite a while. But yeah, after some laps I catched up to 2 carts again, which is as far as I know Mark and Robin. So yeah, you can see me, like, one thing you can hear right here is actually the chain making a weird noise, and apparently this is due to the chain not having enough tension. Well, nearly hit Mark here, but the chain didn't have enough tension. So after this training we actually tensioned the chain a bit more to prevent it from either slipping or getting off, which would have been a disaster if that happened. So you can see me driving behind Robin, really trying to keep up with him, which I do manage to do, but I do make quite a bit of mistakes, so he does get away a bit, and then eventually he lets me through, which is quite fortunate, considering I can do a faster fast lap, considering I actually had never really caught up to him, so it wasn't really any need to let me by here. But anyway, so this is my fastest lap of the session, which in my opinion could have been better, considering coming into this corner I slide quite a bit, as you can see. This might be due to the lack of grip at this moment of time, considering throughout the entire day the grip started to progress quite a bit and got a lot better. But yeah, as you can see, for now it's quite a decent lap. Of course I could have taken this corner flat, but like the chicane, I mean, not the last one. But yeah, that's what it is. I was able to set a lap that was fast enough for P5, P6 as far as I know. So I didn't really have high expectations going into the qualifying either. But yeah, still got to learn the track and got to practice a bit, so quite fortunate with that. So here we go with the qualifying session. So just waiting until we get sent out again. And here we get sent out. Trying to find some space in between the carts, which I managed to do. And as you can see, I'm driving on new tires as well, so I have to get the top layer off again, because otherwise I won't have any grip. So I really have to be aggressive on the steering wheel to scrub it off. But yeah, one thing that's really important during this qualifying session is actually finding room to qualify, considering if you don't do that you'll have quite a bit of traffic and you won't be able to set a good lap at all. And one thing I did see is that the cart in front of me has a red background on the numbers, indicating that it's a heavy driver, um, meaning that he'll probably be quite a bit slower due to the weight. So this is a car that I really want to be in front of and not behind. And I mean, I can let them through, of course, but then I would have to let most of them through and try to find space then, which is a really important thing to do. But yeah, as you can see, he's looking back quite a bit, so I just go through and overtake him. And now I just really have to find the space in order to put down a lap. And here I try to see if I have any grip of these tires currently, but yeah, as you can see, the layer was still quite a bit there, so couldn't really put down a good lap. But it's my first decent lap, but the thing is, I had quite a bit of traffic in front of me, so I had to sort of bail out of this lap. Like as you can see, I catch up to the person in front of me quite quickly, and he takes his corner quite slow, and I tried to overtake him here, but there wasn't any room, so I bailed out of it. So that lap got sort of ruined, but I think I did the first sector not that fast as well, so it didn't really matter anyway. So now I just have to find some space again, so I let the number 10 get some room, and then I have to try it again, basically. So yeah, here I look behind me, but I see that the cars behind me are actually really close, but it's an entire group that's behind me. So one thing I did is I let them through, considering if I let the other person through, I have to leave space to him, and then the other one will catch up to me, wanting to overtake me, which isn't ideal. So I just let every single car through, get some room, and then I have room to qualify. Considering I think the majority of the ones that were within this group were actually all of the more fast, like more heavier drivers, meaning that the traffic would be quite on the slower side due to the weight. But here you can see me trying trying to set down a good lap, which for now it seems quite decent. The slide here quite a bit, so might have scrubbed off a couple of tenths or maybe less. And now I think we're looking at my fastest lap of this qualifying session, which is fast enough for P2, which I didn't even realize at this swing mode. Oh, actually this isn't my fastest lap. Here I have traffic again. Never mind. I have to leave some space to him again to put down my fastest lap. But here you can see it's quite difficult to even put down a fast lap due to the amount of carts being on track. So you can see me speeding up again and taking a bit of a wider line to make it so I steer less and get a bit more speed going into the first corner to maybe win a couple of milliseconds, which can make a difference in getting either a position or even pole position maybe. But in this qualifying session it wasn't really possible, even due to the engine issues we were having. It was still leaking, and the clutch wasn't that good either, so not the most ideal situation, to be honest. But here we can see that we're putting up quite some decent laps actually, which for now this is fine. You can see quite a bit of traffic again, and we catch up to the number 33 quite quickly here, so we have to leave some space in a bit in order to put down a good lap. But here we get too close and we see the opportunity to overtake him, so we just do it into this corner. And now we have a lot of room to be able to set down a good lap, so I just immediately decide to go for it and try to put that good lap down. Just trying to carry as much speed into the corners, trying to hug it really tightly here, trying not to oversteer, which I managed to do, and trying to put it quite quickly to the, quite close to the apex here. Trying to use as much as the track as I can. Of course not overdo it, because otherwise you'll lose time. And going flat into that corner. And that's my last lap of the qualifying, and this actually put me on P2. But yeah, back to that part. I didn't expect to get P2 here at all, considering I was, as far as I think, P4, P5 around that area in the training session. and I was like, okay, I don't think I'll be able to set down a decent lap here due to the issues we were having. And eventually my dad came to me and he did this again, indicating that I got P2, and I was so surprised. I was even like, what? I didn't even get it at all. But yeah, quite happy with the qualifying results and after the race. So here we are with the first race of the day, and then music gets sent out here. And you can even hear the clutch slipping the moment I get out of the pits. Like it's basically the engine is screaming and it's not really moving the way it should, basically. But yeah, the first thing I'll do is just warm up the tires again, because that's a really important thing. So I'm just basically weaving around, trying to like get temperature into it, just like slipping, like drifting, nearly. One thing I did like to do, yeah, here you can see it, is drift into this corner right here to try to get the temperature into it. Don't know if that's the best thing to do for your tires, but it did get temperature into it, and it really it made it easier to know when the tire was up to temperature as well, considering the moment you want to drift, you couldn't due to the grip. Then you knew you had to like back down a bit and try to be less aggressive, but still trying to get the temperature up, like trying to keep the temperature up, basically. But yeah, so here we have McDonald's on P1, me on P2, and Robin on P3. So that's the top three, and then Jelke behind that, as far as I know. But yeah, we have the outside of the first corner here, which in my opinion is actually a worse position to be in. I would prefer to actually be on P3, considering you can immediately go behind the P1 and then overtake the P2 here. But yeah, it is what it is. And one thing that we still had at this moment were the issues with the clutch. So the moment I start here, you can even hear the clutch slipping and it's just not moving, which was bothering me quite a bit, considering I'm losing positions because of it, and it's not really something I can do about. Like, I can only give the max amount of gas. Yeah, you can hear it, it's just screaming, but it's not moving. But yeah, even defending a bit on the inside, which I am allowed to do here, so it's fine. And here we are driving behind Jock, which slips quite a bit. And one thing I was hoping here is that Jock was able to keep up with Robin and Mark, which are the two in front here, which drove quite fast. But the thing is, I was losing quite some time when I was driving behind him, so I was giving him a little push here on the straight to really help him out to get to the front. But as you can see, Robin is pulling away too much already. So I knew that I had to get in front of him as quickly as possible if I want to get a chance to get P2 or P1. But yeah, here I decide to go for the overtake, but it didn't really work out, and I didn't really expect Jouke to steer in that early. It might be due to wanting to defend. So here you can see where Robin steers in all the way at the right, and then Jouke steers in right here, which I didn't expect. I was already looking at the apex and already committed to the move. And one thing I thought at this specific moment is I probably got a time penalty, and I also get hit here quite hard, which isn't Jouke trying to get revenge. It was a different driver trying to overtake me into this corner. But one thing I thought at this specific moment, that I probably got a time penalty for that overtake, considering I wasn't fully ahead going into the corner. So I was just like, okay, I probably got the 3-second time penalty. I could let Jouke by, which I wanted to, but there was just too much, too many people at that specific moment. And I feel like if I were going to stick around, it would not benefit anyone. So I would just have to drive forward so they could follow me around. And if they were able to keep up, yeah, then I would just finish P4. So I was just putting down the fastest laps I could do at this specific moment. But at the end of the race, I apparently didn't get a time penalty for that. And I managed to finish P3 with quite a gap to the people behind me. But yeah, there was not really any conflict after. Me and Jouke were able to talk it out and just We drank a beer afterwards, so it's fine. But yeah, P3, so P3, so quite a decent result. And here we are waiting the card again, considering it has to be above 170. The rules got changed, so before it was 180, but now it's above 170, and we were on 172.5 kilograms, so we were above the weight that we had to be, so it's fine. And then here I just put it into the P3 slot, and quite a decent result for this race. Quite happy. So here we go out for the last race of the day. So here I actually started on the position I finished last race, which is P3, behind Ron, which is P2, and Mark P1. And yeah, here I'm just drifting again to get some temperature into the tires, which if you can do it, it warms up your tires quite quickly, but if you're not able to control it when it's oversteering like that, I wouldn't recommend doing this, considering you might actually spin because of it. But yeah, I just enjoy going through that corner sideways. But yeah, we basically have one warm-up lap, and then we have a formation lap, so this is basically the formation. And here I settle into the P3 slot behind Mark, and this is actually the position I prefer, but I won't be able to accelerate at the same speed as Mark and Robin are due to the issues we're having, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Which I can probably expect to lose 2 positions due to the issues. And there we go. And as you can see, I lose 2 positions because of it. Nearly lost a 3rd position, but he was on the outside, I was on the inside, so I could just keep that position. So here I'm behind Jelke, which is driving quite nicely here actually, behind Tom as far as I know. And here I'm just trying to keep up with them and seeing where they, where I might have a chance to overtake. So really analyzing how they drive. By the way, this is something I wouldn't recommend to do, hitting that inside curb there, because it can give quite a shunt to the cart. And at this specific moment I also had bruised ribs. Oh, here I have quite the overspeed, weaving away from Jelke, and I actually got a time penalty for that, unfortunately. Even though I just weaved out of the way, I didn't hit him or anything. But the reason why I got that time penalty at this specific moment was due to me hitting them and apparently gaining an unfair position because I hit him. Okay, whatever. Back to the race. So you can see me behind the number 16, having the overspeed in order to overtake, putting it next to him on the apex, and we collide, and then he was right on my back here. At this specific moment I became a tow truck, and I literally towed him into this corner. And you can even see that through the behavior of my kart here. I just can't steer at that moment, which is really unfortunate. And I was quite surprised to what happened there. I just didn't get what exactly happened there. Only afterwards I heard what happened. Yeah, it can happen, of course. So biggie. But yeah, I'm here back into the P3 position, and I knew that I probably had either a time penalty or something, so I was just trying to go as fast as I can to get a gap to the people behind me. And as it turned out, I actually had a big enough gap to the people behind me where I still remained in P3 even though I had a time penalty, which was quite fortunate, but I didn't realize that at the end of the race. So I was just really trying my best here, trying to keep the laps consistent and trying to really build it up here. And here we crossed the line in the P3 position. Yeah, even my hand hurt quite a bit actually at this specific moment. But yeah, I was quite surprised that I was even able to get a P3 position due to having my ribs bruised quite badly, and even I was on painkillers at this moment. So I was really surprised there. And right at this specific moment, there was actually quite a an argument due to one overtake but I won't be showing any of this footage, considering it's not needed and it's not mature to show that footage in my opinion. So I'll just leave it be. And here I even heard that I had a time pen, so I didn't even bother putting it into the P3 slot. But that was mainly because I didn't know if I even finished P3 due to the time penalty. My dad was quite confused there, because I didn't put it into P3 slot. But yeah, quite happy with the end results. There were quite some battles, quite some stuff that happened, but yeah, it's racing, so it can happen, of course. Well, this was my entire race day. Unfortunately, we still had the bad starts, mainly due to the engine still not performing at its best. But this will be fixed, considering OW karting is actually working on my engine currently and trying to get it up to the state where it should be. So hopefully next race the starts will be good, considering the clutch will be fixed and the engine will be performing at its max, hopefully. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.